India. When most people think of India, the first thing that comes to mind is spirituality, the birthplace of yoga, the home of the Mother Ganga River, the Himalayan mountains, not to forget the Taj Mahal, one of the 7 wonders of the world. But if people come here thinking that all they're going to find is peace and serenity, they might be in for a little surprise. India is the second most populated country on planet Earth. Being 1/3 the size of the United States and China, with 5 times the population, you could imagine things might get a little bit congested. In 2013, I made a trip to India. Ever since, I've had quite a few people ask, why in the world would you want to go to India? How was India? It's a little too difficult to describe in only a few words, but hopefully in the next few minutes, you have an answer to those questions. My trip to India started in the country's capital, Delhi, the second most populated city in India. When 2 of my friends found out that I was making a trip to India, they had to get in on the action. Now, their family's origins coming from India, you would think that they would be prepared, but nothing prepares you for India.
Oh my God.
There's 2 things you learn when traveling to countries with a lot of poverty. 1, everything is negotiable. The only things that have a set price is either the price of a hotel room or found on the menu of a nice restaurant. Everything else is a bargain. Number 2, be careful what you eat and drink. I followed 3 rules when I was in India. Number 1, don't eat food that's not cooked. 2, don't eat any fruit that you can't peel. Number 3, don't drink any water unless it's bottled and sealed. I did 2 months and didn't get sick once. Even though there's a lot of things to see in Delhi, once we got there, we were in a bit of a hurry to get out. Our trip started in Delhi, it would also finish there. I define travel in 2 different categories. Number 1 is tourism. Tourism is where you book the majority of your trip ahead of time. Number 2, the much more adventurous route, is called vagabonding. Vagabonding is where you go from one place to the next and just take things as they come. I consider myself part of the latter, but to make my friends comfortable, I hopped on the tourist wagon for the first half of the trip. In India, people use any means necessary to get where they need to go. Whether it be by car, motorcycle, train, bus, bicycle, they have even taken carpooling to the next level. Tourism will suck you in. We went from one city to the next on a tight schedule, falling into every tourist trap along the way. And even though we got to see all these beautiful monuments and places, we didn't get a chance to really enjoy ourselves. See, I believe when you book everything ahead of time, it takes the adventure right out of traveling. Now, it doesn't hurt to have a little plan, but the number 1 rule in my book is you don't put yourself on a tight schedule. After 2 weeks of tourism, we were spent. stressed out, and my friends were ready to go home. From the shops and forts of Jaipur to the Taj Mahal in Agra, to the boat ride on the Ganga River in the holiest city in India, to the city where Buddha attained his enlightenment. We had neared the end of my friend's trip, but our last stop was Rishikesh, the yoga capital of the world. There was something different about Rishikesh. Though it was saturated with tourist traps just like every other city we had been in, the energy here seemed to give us relief. Sitting on the foot of the Himalayan mountains with the Ganga River flowing through it, we were finally able to relax. As much as I hated to see my traveling companions go, the day that I set them on their way home was the day that my true adventure began. When you travel alone, you open up doors that you never would have otherwise walked through. You meet people that you would have never have otherwise met. You take chances and you do things that you may have never done if you had someone else with you. You're not distracted by the thoughts of your friends, and you're able to absorb yourself in the now and enjoy the place that you're in. The thrill of not knowing what will happen next, just taking chances and observing, opening up to the experience. You can watch your back, but who knows what's next to come. This is a little taste of freedom. I spent the next month in the Himalayas. See, I came to India to further my spiritual practice. And once I let go of my preconceived ideas and expectations, I found the peace that I was looking for. I met people from all over the world, and I got to see the beautiful side of India that I was beginning to think didn't exist. Maybe it was something in the air, or something in the Ganga water. I did bathe in it for 30 days. Whatever happened, it felt right. I guess it's all part of the process. The complete experience was priceless. When you're able to look outside of the chaos and clutter, you find a country thriving with spirituality. You find animals and people that are connected, not through business ties, but through life. You find energy and color, and you realize that there's something outside of our materialistic world, something that we're missing. I only had a few days left, but I couldn't leave India without a little edge. Cruising through the Himalayan mountains was like a dream come true. No one knew where I was or where I was going. I was literally on top of the world, drifting from one place to the next, just enjoying the ride. Well, did I get what I was looking for? I came to India looking for an experience. And an experience like no other is what I got. Would I do it again? Absolutely.